the vehicle, I'm checking the body and fairing for any damage that was not there the previous day. Visually looking underneath to make sure I don't have any fluid leaks or oil leaks. I have 3 ID lights, 2 clearance lights mounted and secure. They're amber in color. My windshield is mounted and secure. Seal is present. From this vantage point, my windshield wipers are mounted and secure. Grille is mounted and secure. My crash mitigation system is mounted and secure. There's nothing obstructing it. License plate is mounted and secure, non-expiring. I have 2 headlights with marker lights mounted and secure. My headlights are clear in color, no cracks, no pitting. My marker lights are amber in color. My road lights are clear, no cracks or pitting, mounted and secure. On this side, my fender mirror is mounted and secure, no cracks or pits. This is tractor number 274911, which will match my key for 274911. Releasing the hood latch on this side. Walking around. Using safe work methods, I'll raise the hood, make sure that it catches in the safety catch. Continue with my under the cab inspection. I am Z-scanning the motor from top to bottom, listening for any unusual sounds, looking for any fluid or oil leaks, and listening for any unusual sounds. I hear none and I see none. As I'm coming across, my windshield washer fluid is between the full and the add. All hoses and lines are mounted and secure and present, and they're not leaking. My turbo is mounted and secure. All hoses and clamps are present, and I do not have any excessive soot. Coming across, all my other clamps and hoses are mounted and secure. My AC compressor and my alternator are all mounted and secure. All hoses and lines and electrical connections are present. My water pump on the inside behind the fan is mounted and secure. All 3 of those are belt driven. If I was to pull on the belt, I would have no more than half inch to 3/4 inch of play. Coming down, my frame is mounted and secure. There are no illegal welds. I have spring hangers, bolts, U-bolts, a shackle, and a shock. All mounted and secure. The shock is not leaking. My brake chambers and air lines are mounted and secure with no air leaks. This unit has disc brakes. If it had drum brakes, I would make sure that I check the brake linings for a minimum of 1/4 inch thickness. No cracks or contaminants. I would check the slack adjuster, the push rod and pin to make sure that it is mounted and secure at a 90-degree angle. With the through bolt and the clevis pin, if I was to pull on it with the brakes released and the wheels chopped, it would not move more than 1 inch. This is new for the state guy that he wants. Since this unit has disc brakes, I would check the rotors to make sure that I do not have any frayed metal or grooves on the inside of the rotor. I'm checking my tire. It is a virgin tire. Minimum 4/32 tread depth, no abnormal wear. Checking inside and outside the tire. There's no cuts, bulges, abrasions, exposed cords of fabric. This tire is properly beaded to the wheel, which has no cracks, dents, or illegal welds. No broken, missing, loose lug nuts or rust trails that would indicate looseness. My wheel bearing lubricant I can see in the sight glasses between the add and the full. I have a metal valve stem and a metal cap on the wheel here. Using a gentle push-pull with my foot at the bottom, checking for any excessive bearing play, and there is none. My mud flat here is mounted and secure. My coolant level is between the full and the add. Runs down, all hoses and lines are mounted and secure and present, and it is not leaking. Walking around on the other side, watching my head so I don't hit it on the mirror. On this side, I am Z-scanning my motor from top to bottom on this side, listening for any unusual sounds, looking for any fluid or oil leaks. I hear none and I see none. I will check my power steering fluid to make sure it is between the full and the add. All my hoses and lines are present, mounted and secure. There's no cuts and frays, that is not leaking. And the hoses and lines run down to my hydraulic power steering pump, which is mounted and secure, and it is not leaking. My air compressor is mounted and secure. It is gear driven and it is not leaking. Again, I can tell you on this side that I can see my water pump and it is not leaking from this side as well. I will check my oil level to make sure that it is between the full and the add. If it is below the add, which this one is right at the add, I would add in 4/4 increments in the oil field here until it is in the proper level between the full and the add. My frame on this side is mounted and secure. There are no illegal welds and no illegal drill holes. My steering shaft or arm is mounted and secure. It's no more than 10 degrees of play. It is responsive to my touch. It is mounted and secure to the steering box, which is mounted and secure to the pitman arm and the drag link, which is mounted to the steering knuckle on the inside of the drive tire. The U-joints are adequately lubed. All hoses and lines to the steering box are mounted and secure and they're not leaking. All cotter pins are present and it's adequately lubed at all the connection points. I have spring hanger, bolts, U-bolts, a shackle and a shock that's mounted and secure on this side. The shock is not leaking. Again, I have brake chambers and air lines on this side of the tractor. This unit has disc brakes. Again, if it did not have disc brakes, I would check the brake linings to make sure that it's a minimum of 1/4 inch thickness, no cracks, contaminants. I would check the slack adjuster to make sure that the push rod and pin are attached at a 90-degree angle with the through bolt and the cotter pin. If I was to pull on it with the brakes released and the wheels chopped, it would not move more than 1 inch. And since this unit has disc brakes, I would check and make sure that I don't have any exposed or grooved rotors on the pad. Again, this is a virgin tire, minimum 4/32 tread depth, no abnormal wear. Inside and exterior of the tire, there's no cuts, bulges, abrasions, exposed cords of fabric. This is a properly beaded tire onto the wheel, which has no cracks, dents, or illegal wells. Has no broken, missing, loose lug nuts or rust trails that would indicate looseness. The hub seal is mounted and secure with the bolts all mounted and secure. And again, on this side, I can see the sight glass that is hub oil is between the full and the add. Foot against the bottom, gentle push-pull for the excessive bearing play. There isn't any. And my mud flap on this side is mounted and secure. Moving down to the rest of my tractor. Starting at the top, my window is mounted and secure. It is free of any cracks or pitting. My driver's side mirror is mounted and secure. The mirror is not cracked or broken. I have a company name, DOT permit number, and IFTA permit. My IFTA permit is from January 2020, good through January 2021. I'll go ahead and check and make sure that my handrails on the front and the back and my 4 steps are mounted and secure. All bolts are present. My marker light on this side is mounted and secure. Both marker lights, they're amber in color. Opening my tractor door, I'll make sure it opens and closes properly and the latch works as it should. My door seal is mounted and secure. It is not cut or frayed. As I'm looking into my tractor, I have no obstructions under my pedals to prevent proper operation. My FHWA certification is from April 2020, get through April 2021. Going across, my shifter dust boot is mounted and secure to prevent any fumes, debris, or trash coming into the cab. On the passenger side by the door, I have 3 bidirectional flexor triangles mounted and secure in the red box. I have a minimum of 1,5BC dry chemical non-freezing fire extinguisher. It is mounted and secure. Indicators in the green let me know that it is fully charged. I'll close my door at this time. My fuel tank, this is an LNG fuel tank, is mounted and secure. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turnbuckles and straps, all mounted and secure. There's no visible leaks with the tank. Dust cap at the front is mounted and secure. Working my way back on the fuel tank, all 3 of my lines, liquid, relief, and vent, are mounted and secure. I have no excessive frosting on my lines. My fuel pressure is at 140, which is within the range of 130 and 250. My fuel cap is mounted and secure and connected with a cable. There's no debris inside the field. At the rear of my fuel tank, my red and silver valves in the open and closed position. My red secondary relief valve is mounted and secure. And at the back of my tank here, I do not have any excessive frosting. Going across, my exhaust stack is mounted and secure. All straps and bolts are present from this side. My stack has no excessive soot. My rear window is mounted and secure with reflective devices on the sides, in the bottom, and the top of the window. I have no illegal stickers. My tractor number is at the rear, 274911. My hookup light is mounted and secure. It is clear, free of any cracks or pitting. From the rear of my tractor, I can see the back of my drive line, and I see no leaks and hearing no unusual sounds from the rear of the tractor. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 deck plates that are mounted and secure with all bolts present. My batteries are located up underneath the deck plate. I cannot get to it, but I do have 2 a positive and negative post in case I have to jump off the vehicle with dust coverage to prevent contaminants. My vent stack is mounted and secure with no excessive venting. Air tank is mounted and secure. Drain with 2 short bursts to relieve any excess moisture. I have 2 air lines and a light cord mounted and secure from the tractor going to the trailer. There are no cuts and frays. I hear no leaks. I have 2 glad hands and rubber grommets mounted and secure. Coming back, I have a ventilation tube that is mounted secure. It's missing the plastic cover. I'll get that corrected when I get back to the building. My frame right here at the back is mounted and secure. There's no illegal welds or drill holes. Looking across, my drive line at the back is mounted and secure. U-bolts are mounted and secure, and there's nothing wrapped around it. And I have an automatic greaser on the other side of the unit mounted and secure that is not leaking. My mud flap is mounted and secure at the front. I'll go ahead and tell you that there's no space between the apron and the fifth wheel of my tractor. My lever is in the closed position, and my fifth wheel tower is mounted and secure with 5 bolts on both sides. All electrical cables and lines and ground cables are mounted and secure and present. Going up underneath, go ahead and tell you that I have 2 mud flaps mounted and secure. Reflector device on this side. I'm missing one on this side. From the rear, I can see that my locking collar is around my kingpin. It is adequately lubed, and that the kingpin is used to connect the trailer to the tractor. From the rear, I can see that my fifth wheel pivot points on both sides are mounted and secure with the pin and the cotter pins, and they're adequately lubed. From the rear, I have 2 brake chambers, 2 air lines mounted and secure with no air leaks. This unit again has disc brakes. If it did not, I would check the slack adjuster to make sure that push rod and pin are at a 90-degree angle. With the through bolt and cotter pin, I check the brake linings to make sure that they're 1/4 inch in thickness, no cracks or contaminants. If I was to pull on the push rod with the brakes released and the wheels chopped, it would not move more than 1 inch. And I would go ahead and verify, since this has disc brakes, that I have no raw or grounded metal on my brake pads or rotors. From the rear, I have 2 air tanks mounted and secure with no air leaks. Also have 2 tow hooks mounted and secure, safety chain loops mounted and secure, reflector devices at the back. My electrical receptacle is mounted and secure with no broken and missing prongs. I have brake lights, tail lights mounted and secure. They're red in color, mounted and secure, not cracked or pitted. 2 reverse lights, clear in color, not cracked or pitted. Safety chain loops are mounted and secure. My panel hook works in the open and closed position. With the cotter pin, I will close it back. Working my way out. I have spring hangers, bolts, U-bolts, and a shock mounted and secure. Shock is not leaking. I have a set of duals. They're mounted together, butted and straight, no debris between the duals. Minimum 2/32 tread depth, no abnormal wear. Inside between the duals, exterior of the tire. I have no cuts, bulges, abrasions, exposed cords of fabric, no cracks, dents, or wells within the wheel is properly beaded. No rust trails indicate looseness. My hub seal is mounted and secure. All bolts are present and tight, and it is not leaking. If I had a metal valve stem and a metal cap on the outer and inner wheel, if I had a tire gauge, which I forgot to mention up front, for any of my tires, I would have a tire gauge and make sure that I have a minimum of 100 psi on each one of the wheels. Come in here. I'm going to check my trailer. The front of my trailer is 370337. My headerboard and bulkhead are mounted and secure. No illegal welds, all rivets are present. I have a kingpin box mounted and secure on the other side with the registration for 370337. Forgot to let you know that on my electrical receptacle from the tractor that there's no obstructions in the hole. My electrical box is mounted secure. My manufacturer's VIN plate is mounted and secure. My FHWA inspection is from January 2020 get through January 2021. I have airlines and light cords mounted and secure from my trailer with glad hands and rubber grommets in good repair. Again, there's no space between the apron and my fifth wheel. There's no illegal welds on my apron. Working my way back, I have a clearance light up top. It is amber in color. I have a transponder on the front that is mounted and secure. My company name, trailer number, reflector devices are mounted on the side. Rivets are mounted on the side. I have no excess skin damage. My spray suppressant is mounted and secure. As I'm working my way back, my landing gear is mounted and secure. It is in the up and raised position. The feet are mounted and secure with no debris to fly off. My landing gear handle is mounted and secure, and it is in the cradle. Working my way back, there's no illegal welds on my frame cross members, and there's no holes in the floor. My airlines are mounted and secure, running from the front of the trailer to the back. There's no cuts and frays, and I hear no leaks. Down here at the back, I have spring hanger bolts, U-bolts, and shock mounted and secure on both sides of my trailer. I have left and right brake linings, minimum quarter-inch thickness, no cranks, contaminants. I have 2 brake chambers, 2 air lines mounted and secure with no air leaks. I have an air tank mounted and secure with the hoses and lines mounted and secure with no air leaks. I drain excess moisture, 2 short bursts. Working my way out. I have a set of doors that are mounted and secure, butted together and straight, no debris. Minimum 230 seconds tread depth, no abnormal wear. Inside, between the doors and exterior of the tire, I have no cuts, bulges, abrasions, exposed cords of fabric. I have no cracks, dents, or illegal welds in the wheel. It is properly beaded to the wheel. I have no cracked, loose, or missing lug nuts or rust trails to indicate looseness. My hub oil is between the full and the add. I can see it on the sight glass. I have a metal valve stem and a metal cap on the inner and outer wheel here. And my hub oil bolts are mounted and secure. I will check using a tire gauge to make sure that I have a minimum of 100 psi. Spray suppressant and mud flap are mounted and secure here. I have reflector devices. I have a marker light and an ABS light mounted and secure. The marker light is red in color. ABS light is amber in color. The rear of my trailer is 370337 is the trailer number. I have reflector devices top and bottom of the trailer door. I have 7 panels on this door which are mounted and secure. I have proper tension on my cables. I have brake lights, tail lights, all mounted and secure. They are red in color. I'll check the operation of my safety chain in the open and closed position. I'll also check the operation of my door and latch in the open and closed position to make sure the door opens and closes properly. And I can see when I open the door that my header board is mounted and secure and there's no holes in the ceiling. Open the door, placing the latch in the safety chain. Coming down, I have a license plate light that is mounted and secure. It is clear in color. My license plate is mounted and secure. It's non-expiring. I have reflector devices along the ICC bumper. I'll go ahead and check my airline, which is at the back for any cuts and frays. Glad hands and rubber grommets are in good repair. My panel hook works in the open and closed position. I have an electrical connection right here. It's mounted and secure. All 7 pins are present. My safety chain loops are mounted and secure with no illegal welds. I will check the exact same thing along the other side of the trailer.